back to the channel. Welcome to Yorkshire ASMR, and we've got another football themed video today, this time showing off parts of my kit collection. And as you will have guessed from the title and the thumbnail, it's from probably the biggest club in the world, Manchester United. So let's make a start with the first shirt that I own, and the first football shirt that I ever owned was this, the United home shirt from 2006 to 2007, which is the first season of football that I can remember, at least. I think I watched football before that, but I can't really remember much. But this was the first season that I actually remember watching football. And you might be thinking, how does somebody called Yorkshire ASMR from Yorkshire come to own Manchester United shirts? Well, it's all family history. Now I know this is a massive cliche, but my granddad was born in Salford, so grew up a United fan. He actually played for the youth team in the 50s, I believe. Never made it professionally, but was part of the club. And then ever since, it's just been passed down the family. To my dad, to me, and to my brother. I'm no longer a United fan as such, because as I got older, I kind of realised I didn't really have that connection with them. But I do still favour them in terms of the Premier League teams. I just can't help but have that affection for them, watching them growing up with my dad. So this was the first shirt that I ever got, and it's probably my favourite United shirt as well, partly for nostalgia reasons, but I just think the design is really nice. So standouts of this kit: it was the first year that they had the AIG sponsor after having Vodafone, and they had this nice crest with the badge here that I think is really nice, that they replicated again in 2019, I believe. And it has the gold piping all down the sides and on the inside of the collar as well. Gold accents everywhere, which I think goes really well with the white and red. So this was another successful year for United, winning the Premier League. And this shirt reminds me of a lot of famous players. We don't have anyone on the back of this shirt, but this was worn by Rooney, Ronaldo, Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick, Vidic, Ferdinand, the classic team of the mid-2000s. And it started off their 3 in a row Premier League record. Now, with each kit, there's always a player that you associate the most with. And for some reason, it's Michael Carrick with this shirt, because I just remember his goals against Roma in the Champions League when United beat them 7-1 at Old Trafford. And I think Alan Smith even scored that day. So this kit always just sticks with me as Michael Carrick, even though he probably wasn't the most famous player to wear this shirt. But United didn't win the Champions League that year. I did like the IG sponsor. See some detail on the crest there. Nice embroidered crest. Sorry if you can hear some banging outside, it's people letting off early Halloween fireworks. So that's the 2006 to 2007 home kit. Let's move on to the next shirt. Okay, so the next shirt that I got, and I used to always get these as Christmas presents, so I'd never get them on release, but I'd always get them for Christmas. And the next one is this lovely black kit, this silky black shirt from the 2007 to 2008 season. Again, sponsored by AIG, with the dark black colour, the United badge embroidered again, standing out nicely against the black. The Nike embroidery there, and the devil in the back of the collar. We move down the shirt. There's some details like this red devil patch and the Nike dry fit, and there's also a very faint stripe design in the material that was synonymous with these kits of these years. So I think this was the away kit that season. It was either the away kit or the third shirt. And again, on this one we don't have anyone on the back, but I do like these little red stripes that were added, one on the top here and one on the bottom here that says MUFC. I think this kit just reminds me of Ronaldo. I think the black suited him quite well. I don't know if this was the season that Tevez joined, or if Tevez joined the season after. I think this might have been Carlos Tevez as well. 2007 to 2008, I think it might well have been, but I'm not certain. Now, strangely enough, this isn't the only version of this shirt that I have. This was the one that I got when I was 7 years old, but this was one I bought a few years later in a charity shop. I found it just hanging on a rack, as you do, for about £3 I think it was, and I asked my mum to buy it. And again, exactly the same shirt, however it came with these Premier League badges here, the 06-07 Gold Champion Barclays Premier League badges, which I used to love. Nice felt material with the shiny gold background, one on the left, one on the right and then one on the left here, on either side to signal the Premier League champions. I think these look a lot better than than today's badges. And then also on the back, this shirt had Ryan Giggs, who obviously hasn't got the best reputation nowadays, for various reasons, but was a great player for United, of course. Ryan Giggs, number 11. So when I found this in the shop, I couldn't believe it, because only a few years prior this shirt would have cost you maybe 70 quid. It's a kid shirt, that it would have been slightly cheaper, but the badges weren't cheap. The lettering wasn't cheap, because I used to ask for it every year and my parents would say no. So I found this as a bit of a steal. So those are the two 07, 08 away shirts that I have. Let's move on to the next shirt. Okay, now we jump to the 2008 to 2009 season, where United brought out this white shirt with blue and red weren't sponsored by AIG. Again with the embroidered crest, slightly less prominent in the embroidery this time. I don't know if you can tell on the video, but a bit more subdued, just the devil stands out this time. You see we have United written in the collar. And we again have the Premier League champion badges, this time for the previous season 07-08, so this was the season that United completed the 3 in a row. Again, one on the right sleeve, one on the left sleeve. If you move down the shirt, the rest of the design was fairly simple, just a dark blue stripe going down the panelling on the side, and no other sort of pattern to speak of on the shirt. A fairly plain design, but one that I think looks pretty clean. And I remember at the time my dad got the exact same shirt. He didn't get any of the badges or anything. He just got the standard one, but we both quite like this. And on the back, this was one of the few shirts that I was allowed to get some printing on, and I got my name, Daniel, number 8. So I was 8 years old at the time. I used to just get my used to ask for my age. So Daniel number 8 with the Premier League writing, MUFC written on the back. And I got the full kit as well, so my dad was very generous this year because he got me the shorts and socks, which I still have in the drawer. So yeah, not much resale value on this, purely because it's got my name plastered on the back of it. But a nice shirt, nonetheless, from the 08-09 season, and I believe this went on to be the third kit from the 09-10 season. I think they used to recycle the away kit and put it as the third shirt for the season after, which was obviously good for fans because you still felt like you had a shirt that was relevant. Whereas now they bring out 3 new kits every year and it's a bit of a joke, really. I prefer, although I love football kits, I think less is more, and I think you're seeing teams are running out of design ideas now. But this was the 08-09 away, and this one reminds me of, I think, Ji-sung Park. I can just picture Ji-sung Park wearing it. A great player for United, number 13, or maybe John O'Shea. I'm pretty sure he was still at United at that time. Okay, on to the next shirt. Alright, so I didn't get a shirt in the 09-10 season. I can't remember why that was, whether I just didn't ask for one or my dad might have said no, but the 09-10 season was when they had the chevron across the front, which I do actually quite like as a kit, but it probably worked out quite well because United didn't win the league that season. Chelsea won it in 09-10. So then we move on to this 2010 to 2011 kit, the home shirt this time. So after having a couple of away kits, I wanted a home shirt again. We got this nice red kit here that features a foldable collar, so you can have it up Eric Cantona style or folded down, a more conventional design that lays together here. Again we have the United badge, the Nike embroidery, and this was the first year that they were sponsored by Aeon. I thought that they, at the time when I was only 10, when this kit was released, I thought that Aeon were like a different form of AIG, both obviously starting in A and ending in N, but no, they're completely different companies. I think Aeon are an energy company, maybe. Or is that Aeon? But yeah, first year that they had Aeon. The shirt itself again is fairly plain. A lot of the shirts back in these days were quite plain, but I think they were nice and simple. We do have some Premier League badges. For some reason these badges are absolutely tiny on here, but nonetheless they are the Premier League branding badges. And there's like a rubberized strip as well. So this is actually quite sticky to touch, strangely enough. Moving on to the back, there's not much to be seen. Again, it's just plain red. There is a slight pattern in the back, a slight sort of chevron pattern that I think you can see that looks quite clean. Some sort of breathable technology there. With the standard MUFC on the back of the shirt. Now, this shirt really reminds me of Dimitar Berbatov. For some reason, it wasn't his first season at United, but I think that this was the season that he really started to kick on. He may well have scored a hat-trick against Liverpool in this season. I don't think it was in this shirt though, I think it was in the away kit, but I could be getting that completely wrong, but I think this was when he started to kind of turn up after being a bit shaky for the first 2 seasons, if I remember correctly. But again, still think of all the classic players in this kit. Ferdinand, Rooney. I think Scholes was still around, I think. But obviously this was getting into the last few years of Fergie's reign. And it was starting to be the rise of Manchester City, who would go on to win the league a few years later. Okay, so this is the 2010 to 2011 home shirt. Let's move on to the next kit. Okay, so this shirt is the 2011 to 2012 home. Again, another home shirt. Very similar in design to the previous kit. In terms of the actual shirt itself, so the material feels very similar. There's not much difference in any kind of pattern, it's just a base red shirt, but the differential this year was this collar. This stretchy black and white pinstriped collar that kind of ended at the front here. A bit of a strange design, but I think quite nice looking back with Manchester United written in the back of the collar. Nice big badge this year. Big embroidered badge. Again with the Nike embroidery, and again the second year of Aeon. Nothing to speak down here in the way of any sort of design. Just the Nike authentic branding. And then again on the back, instead of the MUFC this year, they went for the Little Devil that's featured on a few of the kits in various forms. And again, no one on the back of this shirt, just plain red. An even more plain kit than the season before. Now, this kit will always remind me of Ashley Young. I think it was his first season at United. And it's when he was probably one of the best wingers in the league. And this was the year that United destroyed Arsenal 8-2 at home. One of the most famous or infamous, depending on which side you look at it, most infamous matches of football in Premier League history, when Ashley Young scored 2 free kicks. I think it was either 2 free kicks or it was 2 bangers. I think they were both outside the box curlers. I think Rooney scored a free kick, if I remember correctly. But this was when Van Persie was playing for Arsenal. I think Van Persie even scored for Arsenal the season before he joined United. But again, a nice shirt, a plain shirt. United, like I said, used to keep it simple, but they've always turned out to be iconic. Okay, on to the next shirt. Okay, so this is the last official United shirt that I own. I've got 2 more to show after this, but they're slightly different, and I'll explain what I mean after. This is the shirt from the ill-fated 2013-2014 season. The first season without Fergie for 26 years, and the first season and only season of David Moyes' reign. Which I think is a shame that this shirt was associated with that, because I think it's actually a really nice shirt. But obviously it will always have those connotations of just being a terrible, terrible year for United. So in terms of the shirt itself, it's got this really kind of strange, like almost like waiter's collar. It's got like a really like dress shirt like feel to it. And it wasn't often that United just had a solid black collar. There was usually some white in there, but it has buttons pinning it down, and the collar itself buttons all the way up. So yeah, very much like a dress shirt that you'd have like a tie or a bow tie in. So a bit of an odd design choice, but I think it works. And then they have this lovely like silky, shiny, glossy red. The finish on this shirt is really, really nice. As you might notice, this shirt is a bit bigger, so this was an actual adult shirt this time. The rest were more kid sizes or young adult sizes. And the Man United badge is huge here. Nice clear Man United badge embroidered on with the Nike badge. And again, sponsored by Aeon, which I think this was the last season that Aeon sponsored as well, before Chevrolet took over in Van Gaal's first season. But yeah, a very plain shirt again, nothing to speak of, no design of any kind on this shirt. Just the Nike Authenticity stamp and the dry fit technology logo. Going around to the back again, there's nothing here to see aside from this time the devil in black, but again, nothing on the shirt. But I still think a nice kit, just like I said, tarred from the disaster that was the 2013-14 season, when you had a lot of players that were kind of coming to the end of their peak. Van Persie didn't hit the same heights. You had Vidic as the captain, but he kind of didn't really look interested that year. This shirt actually does remind me of Adnan Januzaj. He was like the one good thing from the Moyes season, in which Giggs took over and finished. Adnan Januzaj ended up having a good season, like a breakthrough year. But apart from that, United were terrible. I can't remember where they actually finished. Was it like 6th in the end? Which by today's standards is a miracle. But yeah, of course, I remember they played in the Champions League. I think they got knocked out by Bayern, scored first in the Allianz Arena, and then got beat. They did actually win a trophy in this shirt, believe it or not. They won the Community Shield against, I want to say Wigan. I think Wigan won the FA Cup the year before. I could be getting that wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did. So United beat who I think was Wigan in the Community Shield. So bad memories in this shirt, but I think a lovely shirt. So okay, let's get on to the last two sort of novelty kits that I have. Okay, so the first shirt that I have is this Score Draw offering. So not an official Manchester United shirt, made by the company Score Draw. So it's an official retro shirt, but it's not an official United shirt. And I don't actually know what season this was from. I should have checked before the video. I'll put it up on the screen. But this is a classic United shirt. I want to say that this is this the 98 to 99 shirt? Is this the season that they won the treble in? It might be, but I don't think it is. But so Score Draw do replicas of the shirts, and sometimes they're not 100% accurate, but they're kind of close. But they're not allowed to use like manufacturers' sponsors, so that's why there's no Umbro here. It's purely a replica of the United badge that's felt, a replica of the Sharp logo, and then the rest of the shirt is kind of a replica of what it would look like. There was a lace that came in here, but unfortunately it snapped, so we don't have the lace anymore. It's just purely the holes. I need to buy a new lace just to seal that up. Comes with a nice collar. There's nothing on the back, it's just purely this design, this sleek and shiny design with the MUFC. So again, not an official kit, but I thought I would show it off anyway, just as it's part of my collection. Scoredraw are quite well known for their England kits. They make a lot of England replica kits, and those are very popular during the Euros and the World Cup. They do replicas of all types of different years of England kits. I do have a lot of England kits as well. If you guys want to see a video on those, just let me know. But yeah, a nice shirt that's just purely there as part of the collection. It's not one that I kind of show off, and it's not worth anything, but it's a nice kit nonetheless. Okay, let's get on to the final kit that I have, which we don't even need to make a cut for because it's this little thing here. This is, I think, the 2001 to 2002 kit. I think this was the second kit that Vodafone were involved with. Now you might be asking, why is it so small? I actually don't know. I don't know where I got this from. I might have won it at like a fair. I think it was part of a prize bag or goodie bag of some kind. But it's a little mini replica of the early 2000s kit with a black and the Vodafone, very synonymous, very iconic partnership, Man United and Vodafone. Vodafone, who now obviously sponsor Borussia Dortmund and have made some really nice kits this year. And I'm tempted at the end of the season to pick those up on sale. I don't like paying full price for football kits, but I'm tempted to pick one of those up. And on the back we have Ruud van Nistelrooy, number 10. What a great player for United he was. So it does actually have some printing on the back, strangely enough. But yeah, this kit is literally the size of my hand. I've got no idea why I have it, but it's cool. It's pretty niche. Got no idea where it's from. If anybody knows why these were made, if anyone has one, let me know. If anyone out there has something similar. But yeah, that's my Manchester United kit collection. A lot of them from 15 to 20 years ago. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully see you soon.